Hi, Stacy McDonald with the Common Sense Mom, and I'm here to talk to you about color matching with Young Living's Savvy Minerals makeup. This is not super hard, and I've heard a few people freaking out thinking, I don't know how to color match. What if I get the wrong color and I wind up looking like an Oompa Loompa? It's not going to happen. Calm down. We're going to get this. The biggest thing I want you to focus on is whether or not you're a warm or you're a cool, because the whole 1, 2, 3 shade of it doesn't really matter. That is going to change whether or not you're out in the sun or whether, hormones or age, all that, you're going to use different shades at different times. On top of that, Young Living's foundations are super, super forgiving. Keep in mind that even if you get the wrong shade, you can use it for other things. Like I use a shade or two lighter under my eyes. It helps with any darkness that you have there. I use darker shades, some of it, a shade or two darker for contouring, for eyeshadow even. Sometimes I will take some of the darker shades, a dark 2 or 3 or even 4, and use it as an eyeliner. So there's all kinds of things you can do with the foundations besides just the foundation. Between summer and winter, you may wear different shades too. So if you got something that was a little too dark, save it for the summer. If you got something that was a little too light, use it in the winter. So you're gonna find plenty of uses for it. Don't worry about it. Another thing that I do, and I recommend people doing, is mixing them. If your cool 3 isn't quite dark enough, your warm 3 isn't quite dark enough, either one, add a little bit of the dark 1 to it, and it'll just deepen it a little bit. So you're going to be able to use all of these foundations for multiple purposes, so don't worry about that. You can wear different shades pretty easily, and it's not even going to be noticeable. In fact, if you don't know for sure what shade you are, just go with a 2. Okay, but I do want you to decide whether you're a warm or a cool, because I think that's going to give you the best look. I want you to get your paper and your pen out. I want you to write down the answers to the questions I'm asking, okay? So the first is the vein test. Are your veins more blue, or are they more green, or are they both? If they're blue, you're probably a cool, and if they're green, you're likely a warm. And if you see a little bit of both, you might be a neutral, okay? So write that down, do your little test. Also, do you look better in white, or do you look better in off-white or cream? So I call that the wedding dress test, because women tend to know whether they're going to look better in a white wedding dress or an off-white wedding dress, and there is really almost no in between. I guess there's a few neutrals that can pull it off, but really one of them is going to look better on you, okay? So you can just take out a really bright white, not your dingy old white sheets that you've had for 10 years, but take something bright white, hold it against your skin, and say, okay, does that make me look like I have more color in my face, or is it completely washing me out? If it brings color to your face, you're probably a cool, and if it washes you out, you're probably a warm. Same with the off-white. If it brings color to your face, you're probably a warm. If it completely washes you out, you're probably a cool. I always wanted to wear an off-white wedding dress, and I couldn't because off-white makes me look like death. But I really like off-white, it's pretty. The other test is the jewelry test, and we're not going to use jewelry because I have some gold and silver lame fabric we're going to use. Well, not lame, it's more like a kind of a sparkly linen. But anyway, I have some linens here. So do you look better in gold? Then you're probably a warm. And if you look better in silver, you're probably a cool. And if you can get away with both, you're probably a neutral. And you can use real jewelry to test this out. Just hold it against your neck and decide which one looks best on you. Warms tend to just be able to wear all kinds of fall colors, the oranges and browns and beiges and tans and even some of the corals. They really look good in those fall colors. They're going to be your warms. Cools can wear some of the fall colors too, but they have to mix it in with some blue-based reds and try to work that in. The red test is another test that I like to do, and it's a little more uncommon, but I think it's a good judge. If you are warm, you're going to look better in yellow-based reds or maybe even orangier reds. And if you're a cool, you're going to look better in blue-based reds, those really dark purpley type reds. That's going to be the cools. And again, if you can pull them both off, you may be neutral. Even neutrals, by the way, will still tend toward cool or warm. You're still going to look better in one side, one way or the other, even though you can get away with it. If you are just a strong cool, off-white is gonna make you look like death. I mean, it's really just gonna wash you out if that's all you're wearing. And if you are a true warm, then you're gonna have trouble wearing a white. You're gonna need to wear something with some color to it to bring color to your face. Cools are gonna look better in pink lipsticks, maybe some blue-based red lipsticks, either soft pinks or bright pinks. Warms are gonna look great in corals and bronzy lipsticks. They'll be able to pull off kind of more auburn type colors and orangey or reds. That's gonna look good on them. Peachy colors. Cools tend to have pink or red, ruddy undertones in their skin, and warms tend to have very golden, more peachy undertones in their skin. So that's another test for you. Just look at the undertones in your skin or ask a friend. They might be able to tell you. But whatever you do, don't freak out. It's going to be okay. And then there's the sunburn test. You know, I used to go out with my friends when I was in my teens, and I had one set of friends who would go out and they would just fry like a French fry. They'd burn instantly. And I had this other set of friends who would just turn into these golden bronze tan goddesses while I sat there saying, do I have any sun yet? Do I tan lines? You know, I'm checking nothing. I would not get anything. I would be white, they would be burned, they would be brilliantly tanned. What was the deal with that? Well, I was neutral. That was kind of I have this olive skin tone. By the way, olive skin tone women tend to be neutral, so that's a clue for you too. But when I would finally get sun, I would usually kind of burn my nose, my shoulders, or whatever. The next day it would turn into a tan. Very typical of neutrals. So those are some clues for you. If you burn, you may be cool. And if you instantly have this golden tan, you may be warm. And if you're kind of in between and you don't really burn, but you don't really just instantly tan either, you may be a neutral. I am a neutral that tends toward the cool side. Go figure. Still means I can't wear off-white. So I hope that was helpful to you. And if you have any more questions, or if you would like my help personally color matching you, please feel free to contact me and we can schedule either a phone chat or a video chat, or we can just message. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe or visit me at commonsensemom.com.